Hey everybody, Mike Slifer here in the First Alert Forecast Center. Welcome to another First Alert Weather Extra. We're going to be talking quite a bit about Friday, and we're going to jump right into how things are looking on Friday, but we also want to go through some of the weather stats for the month, and we'll go through some other little goodies here, a look ahead to what things are looking like as we approach the end of the year, because, well, it's almost here, believe it or not. We have 2 weeks left in 2025. 2026 will get going in 15 days. That is the first of the year. It really is hard to believe how quickly things flew by. But let's talk a little bit about what we're expecting. So tomorrow morning when we wake up, high pressure will be in control. And that actually means we'll see a pretty bright start to the day. A lot of cloud cover will hold off. Most of the cloud cover holds off until after sunset, which is great. So sunshine during the day itself. And then as we get later into the day, well, we'll start to see the clouds thicken up. It's not until around this time tomorrow where the first showers will be possible, and they become more likely the later we get into the night, but especially Friday morning. So Friday, we declared a first alert weather day early on this week. We've been giving you the first alert to the chance for showers since Friday last week. So we've been talking about this now for 5 days. And the biggest change here has just been fine-tuning the wind forecast. The heaviest rain is expected during the morning commute on Friday, as are the strongest winds. Wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour possible, and the rain, it's going to come down at a pretty good clip. We are talking about some pouring rain on Friday morning, downpours, maybe rumbles of thunder, and on the backside of the storm system, can't rule out an isolated snow shower. No real impact there. So First Alert Futurecast shows that the sky is still clear by 4 o'clock tomorrow. Really looking like a very bright day. It looks beautiful until about 7 or 8 o'clock, and then things start to go downhill, and they'll go downhill relatively quickly. So there are the clouds thickening up and moving on in. Now, we can't rule out some showers from about 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow evening through about 1 or 2 in the morning Friday, but it's the pre-dawn hours into sunrise on Friday where we start to see the heavier rain build in. Rain will be steady and heavy through the morning hours Friday, during the morning commute. Look at those reds and pinks just to our west. Again, can't rule out some rumbles of thunder as this potent cold front crosses Connecticut. The heaviest rain will start to wind down after lunch. Some lingering showers certainly still possible. Then later on in the day, we can't rule out some isolated snow showers. Again, we're not expecting any real accumulation or impact here. Everything will just be too warm on Friday. In fact, we could challenge records. We're going to talk about that a little bit later coming up here in the First Alert Weather Extra. So when it comes to the actual impact here, travel impacts in the morning, ponding on the roadways, poor visibility, and then some isolated power outages from the strong wind gusts will be possible. Now take a look at this graphic here. This gives you an idea of when the strongest wind gusts should be expected from the pre-dawn hours through about noon. That's when we have the greatest chance of actually seeing those gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. A wind advisory is in effect for all of Connecticut, and it's not just Connecticut, it's for surrounding areas too. So you'll note the brown shading here indicating where that wind advisory is in effect. And it basically is the entire day on Friday. So this is kind of what we're dealing with. But that strong southerly wind will help to bring much warmer air into Connecticut. 54 is the record for the Hartford area set back in 1949. We are forecasting 55. Again, if you caught any of our First Alert Weather Extras earlier this week, December 19th is sort of an interesting day for us. There are 2 days for the Hartford area where the record high is under 55. December 19th, we have a record high of 54. February 2nd, we have a record high of 54. So it's always sort of random when we get these warm or cold spells to challenge records, but something that is certain is that overall we break more warm records than cold records. And over the last several winters, we have broken quite a few records. And because of that, the ceiling, so to speak, or rather the floor for those records has been lifted. In other words, there were a few days that had record high temperatures under the 55-degree mark, and now we only have 2 left, and after this week, we may only have 1 left. So certainly impressive to say the least. Bridgeport, on the other hand, 57 is the record. We're forecasting 56. It's going to be close. But the other thing that strong southerly flow will do is bring a lot of moisture to Connecticut. We have pretty good model agreement here that we should expect around an inch of rain, but it could be as high as an inch and a half in some localized locations. Thankfully, not much of a flood risk here. We've been watching the snow depth get eroded. Yesterday was mild. Today was even warmer. Tomorrow even warmer than today. So a lot of melting ongoing. Even right now, temperatures are above freezing across most of the state, so things are still melting. And when the rain moves in, it is going to wash the snow away. So this month, a bit colder than normal, certainly. In fact, almost 8 degrees below where we typically would be. little bit of a precip and snowfall deficit month to date. So the first of the month through today, the 17th. Now, today was an interesting day, simply for the fact that we made it to 45. That's only 5 degrees above normal, sure, but it's the warmest day that we've seen so far this month. Tomorrow will be warmer, and Friday will be even warmer than that. Look at all the blue tiles so far this month. Last Wednesday, to be specific, was the first day this month where we had a high temperature above normal, and it was only a few degrees above normal. Today, sort of a similar setup there where we were only 5 degrees above normal. So currently temperatures are kind of all over the place. It really depends on where you are. 27 in Meriden to 41 in Putnam to 40 in Groton to 31 in Salisbury. 26 in Danbury right now. So some of this has to do with the wind. Some of this has to do with cloudiness. Where the wind has gone calm, temperatures have dropped significantly. Again, a little bit of snowpack out there really helps to drop those temperatures back. And what we're expecting here, with a bit of a shift to a northwesterly wind, is for the temperature to actually get lower as the night goes on, bottoming out in the 20s. We're expecting mid-20s throughout most of inland Connecticut, upper 20s along the shoreline, which is pretty seasonable for this time of year, pretty close to where we typically would be. 36 degrees here in New Haven. What's interesting is that since the 4 o'clock news began, I've sort of been keeping an eye on this ICAM view, and the green has gradually been getting greener. And even now, since 7 o'clock, so after the sunset, certainly, we can pick out a little bit more green. So the snow is melting, 36 degrees in New Haven, 38 right now in Waterbury. The roads look damp, but at 38 degrees, no big issues there. Everything is melting. And this is that time of year where the ground freezes and thaws and freezes and thaws. So it holds on to that moisture and then it thaws out and then things look damp. Just something to keep in mind. Could be some black ice on untreated surfaces tonight, but it doesn't seem to be quite as impactful as everything else. Here's a live look at our ICAM in Mystic, certainly looking tranquil. Our ICAM view in Torrington still showing some snow on the ground. And let's finish it off with a live look on our ICAM in Hartford as we look to the southeast. We can pick out the Gold Building, the Travelers Tower, and beyond that, 91 and the Connecticut River. So, yes, the snow is here for now. Big changes on the way. Today we really started accelerating our melting process a bit. Tomorrow it's going to accelerate even more. And then when that rain begins tomorrow night into Friday, bye-bye, gone, done. So over the last 6 hours, we've been watching a little bit of cloudiness roll through, but a mostly clear sky expected tonight. Again, about 20 to 25 or so inland, upper 20s for the shoreline. So we are expecting tomorrow that when you step out the door, you'll want to have your layers on. Hats, gloves, thick coats, but temperatures will rebound pretty nicely. We're talking temps near or above 40 by lunchtime tomorrow. For the ride home, mid and upper 40s. 45 to 50 degrees is where temperatures will peak tomorrow afternoon. And guess what? It's only going to get warmer. Our wind shifts to be out of the south tomorrow. You'll note that the wind gusts pick up as we get into the afternoon. A bit of a breezy afternoon, evening out there especially. But the strongest wind will arrive Friday morning. Friday is our first alert weather day. Very warm overnight Thursday into Friday, 42 degrees for the low temperature. That's higher than the high temperature typically is this time of year. 55 on Friday, down to 26 Friday night, 36 Saturday, a little bit breezy out there. 44 Sunday, 32 Monday, breezy but bright. And then Tuesday, there are some showers possible. At this point in time, it looks pretty low impact. It could be rain, could be snow. Christmas Eve, about 40 degrees and mostly sunny sky. Shoreline towns, 49 tomorrow, 56 on Friday, 39 Saturday, 46 on Sunday. We'll be at 35 Monday, 37 Tuesday, and again near 40 degrees by Wednesday. And the longer-term outlook here really doesn't show any strong signals either way for most of Connecticut, although the eastern part of the state is shaded in blue. So what this means is that temperatures likely will be close to normal as we get closer to the end of the month. This is December 25th through the 31st, Christmas Day through New Year's Eve shown right here. When it comes to precip, again, likely near normal, maybe leaning a little drier than normal just because the pattern doesn't look super active, or perhaps a more accurate way to describe it is that even if we do see storm systems, we're not looking at any blockbuster events. And with that in mind, we have 2 weeks left in the month. And for the next 7 days, not much of a chance for snow. So we'll have to see if we end this month below normal. Typically, we see 10.1 inches of snow for the Hartford area in December. We're at 4.1 right now, and it doesn't look like that's really going to change much for at least the next week. Maybe some flakes out there Tuesday. We'll have to see what happens beyond. Bridgeport is outperforming Hartford by 0.4 of an inch of snow so far. Surplus in Bridgeport, deficit in Hartford, but again, we're not really expecting to add to that tally at all anytime soon. We had 9 hours and 8 minutes of daylight today. We have lost 6 hours and 6 minutes since the summer solstice. The winter solstice, which is this weekend, Sunday, is, fast approaching, and we only have 1 minute of daylight left to lose. So we're headed in that direction. And then the days slowly start to get longer. By January 1st, sunset is 4:30, and by the end of the month, it's back in the 5 o'clock hour. Speaking of January, let's talk a little bit about those normal high temperatures. 37 by the first of the month. So 2 weeks from today, basically, normal highs 37. A month from today, normal highs in the mid-30s, 35. We see a gradual recovery through February when it comes to normal high temperatures, and by the end of February, the normal high is back in the lower 40s. And March, while it can certainly be a winter-like month, typically is when we start to see things change quite a bit. We're not rushing anything here. We still have to get through the next 2 weeks, and that's just December. Meteorological winter goes to the end of February. But on average, January is our coldest month, and February is our snowiest month. So we're still early in the winter season for you snow lovers. On the flip side, winter's not your thing. We certainly see a little bit of a thaw here, and it's very likely that at some point over the next 6 to 8 weeks, we will see another thaw, and then we'll see what happens as we head closer to spring. So that was a final check of the First Alert 7-day forecast. We'll be on the wax tonight at 10. We'll be on WFSB after Survivor. So I hope you join us. We will certainly have more on that First Alert Weather Day Friday and get you prepped as we get closer to the holidays. 1 week from today, Christmas Eve, hard to believe. All right, join us on the wax at 10. We'll see you then.